Hey, what is up guys? It's Eryizo, and today I have kind of a different video for you guys. Now, what I mean by that is basically that I've been watching one of my friends on YouTube for a long time, and he just doesn't get the support that I believe he really deserves, because I see the effort and the work that he puts in on his videos, and he doesn't really get that much support. So what I thought I would do was let him upload a video that he completely did on his own. I had no influence over to my channel. So he did the editing, the scripting, the voiceovers, everything was done completely by him. So I really hope you guys enjoy his content, because I really enjoy it. So if you want to go check him out and subscribe to him, I will also leave a channel link to his channel in the description, as well as somewhere on screen. And I will also leave a link to a video that he also uploaded on his channel, which will be at the end card at the end of this video. I saw Whoops do this earlier. It's the same guy who appeared on Whoops' channel. It's Monkiez. I really hope you guys go check him out, because he's really good, and he deserves a lot more than what he has. He's almost to 1,000 subscribers as well, so if you guys could hit him up with a subscription, that would be very much appreciated. And with that being said, guys, I'm gonna let Monkiez take over, and I'll talk to you guys tomorrow. Peace.
What's up guys, my name is Monkiez, and welcome to a Pokemon Sun and Moon Top 5. In Pokemon Sun and Moon, we are introduced to a lot of new Pokemon in the Alola region. Some of my favorites include Tapu Koko, Wishiwashi, and Decidueye. I enjoyed my first playthrough of the game and was able to successfully beat the champion without any problems. However, there is still just one flaw with the game. Back in older generations, I found it not as hard to find the Pokemon that were considered rare. I don't know if it's just me, but I find myself constantly running around to find a single Pokemon. The encounter rates for some of the Pokemon are very low. For example, Gengwu only has a 1% encounter rate and can be only found in one location. Based on their in-game encounter rates, lots of Pokemon are considered, quote, rare. So today, I thought it would be cool to share my top 5 rarest Pokemon in Pokemon Sun and Pokemon Moon. At the end of the video, if you did enjoy, make sure you leave a like, comment, and even subscribe if you're new. And with that being said, why don't we get started? Now, coming in number 5 slot, I had to put them as a pair, is Munchlax and Happiny. Now, this isn't necessarily high on the list due to the fact that there are cases in the games where Munchlax is not rare at all. When Pokemon Sun and Moon were announced, once the games came out, players who pre-ordered the games received an event Munchlax. So Munchlax isn't rare in the sense of receiving the Pokemon, but he's rare in the sense of finding him. Both Happiny and Munchlax can be found really early in the games, which is why I grouped them together. On Route 1 at night and in the morning, Munchlax can be found through walking. However, he is a really rare encounter with only a 5% chance to find. Now, Happiny, on the other hand, is only obtainable through an SOS encounter by battling a Munchlax. So on top of finding a Munchlax with a 5% chance, you need to be able to somehow find a Happiny as one of the SOS encounters, which can be pretty annoying. This basically makes it so that there's a 0.25% chance to encounter a Happiny. The 4th rarest Pokemon can only be obtainable in a single area. However, the difference is that the location where we find Munchlax and Happiny is really early in the game, compared to where we can find this Pokemon. This Pokemon can only be found in the Thrifty Mega Mart, which is only accessible on Ula Ula Island. This Pokemon is one of my least favorite Pokemon in the Alola region. I actually completely despise this thing. The way it looks and the fact that so many people like it is the reason why I hate it. If you haven't guessed it already, the Pokemon is Mimikyu. Mimikyu is one of the rarer Pokemon as it has a 5% encounter rate. This would be fine if Gengar and Haunters didn't have a 40% encounter rate themselves. In the Thrifty Mega Mart, are we really killing our Golbats and Haunters, waiting patiently for Mimikyu? Now, I know that this encounter rate is still 5%, but in order to catch him, you need to be on a 3rd island to complete the trial. All in all, I had a much better time looking for a Happiny than looking for a Mimikyu. The 3rd rarest Pokemon in Pokemon Sun and Moon is a new pseudo-legendary introduced to the Alola region. In each region of Pokemon, we're introduced to a new pseudo-legend. These Pokemon are usually Dragon-type, and some of them include Dragonite, Salamence, and Garchomp. A pseudo-legendary of the Alola region is Gengwu. Gengwu can only be found in the vast Pony Canyon on Pony Island. Gengwu can only be found in a certain patch of grass with a 5% encounter rate. You can also find its evolutions, Hakamo and Kamo, by doing an SOS encounter. Just like Mimikyu, there's only one place you can capture it, which is only accessible after you complete the trial in the Vast Pony Canyon. However, this island is the last island in the game, which is why he's higher on the list than Mimikyu, and is why he's the number 3 slot on our rarest Pokemon list. Our runner-up for the rarest Pokemon in Pokemon Sun and Moon is Salomon, specifically a level 10 Salomon. Now, a lot of you are probably scratching your heads right now saying there's no such thing, but there actually is a certain case in which you can find him in the games. On Route 3, there's a 1% chance to encounter his pre-evolution Bagon. In Pokemon Sun and Moon, we are introduced to the new feature of battling known as SOS battles, which I previously mentioned before. During a battle, there's a random chance the Pokemon you're facing can call an ally Pokemon. One of Bagon's ally Pokemon has a 1% chance to be a level 10 Salomon. So basically the odds of countering the Salomon is a 0.0001 or 0.01%. Not to mention that this can only be found on one single route and only one patch of grass in the game, with only one Pokemon that can SOS for it. It can be pretty annoying to find, but hey, that's why we have PK Hex, right? The rarest Pokemon in Pokemon Sun and Moon has to go to Morini. Morini is one of my favorite Pokemon in the game since its evolution is such a beast. Morini can only be found in 2 places in the games, however, with only a 1% encounter rate in both areas. Not to mention that they can only be found with an SOS encounter. Morini can be found when battling a Corsola. When fishing at a bubbling spot, Corsola can only be found with a 20% chance, making it so that Morini can be found with a 0.2% chance. Without bubbling water, Corsola can be found with a 1% chance, making it so that, just like Salomon, Morini can only be found with a 0.01% chance. There's really no particular reason to why Morini is higher than Salomon on the list, other than that he's kind of better than Salomon in my opinion. So that is me for this video. I hope you all enjoyed. If you did, make sure you have a like, comment, and even subscribe if you're new. And with that being said, I'll see you guys later. Peace.